Are you having a sense of deja vu
Absolutely.
when you see what's happening in Texas and how hard you had to fight to get funds? What do you think?
We went through that in 2011. I think people don't appreciate, unless you're there talking to the folks who are impacted, what it means to lose a home that you lived in your whole life, that was there the day before. How are you going to rebuild it? Are you going to rebuild it? Where do you go?
How much resistance did you get, Senator?
We had to fight very hard. The Vermont delegation fought very hard for federal funding. Gail, it seems to me that at this particular moment in American history, if there is any silver lining in the terrible suffering that's going on in Houston, it's to remember that we are one country.
Yeah.
And I am sure that in Houston, whether you're black or you're white or you're Latino or Native American or Asian American, people are coming together to help each other all over the country.
Yeah,
people are standing up with the people in Texas who are in trouble. We are one nation, and we have got to stop the type of divisions that Trump and others are bringing about, trying to divide us up. We are one people. We're going to stand with the people of Texas today.
So will the funding that they need, will it get there right away? I mean, the senators from Texas weren't exactly forthcoming when it came to the money for Super
In fact, both of them voted against Hurricane Sandy. And we have got to end that stuff. The people, I'm quite sure I speak for the people of Vermont in saying, we are going to stand with the people of Texas. And the lesson to be learned is when people in any part of the country are in trouble, as one nation, we stand together.
You're saying now is not the time we're tit for tat?
No, it is not.
So you are a yes vote?
Well, you got to see the bill, and it has to be a good bill, you know, and it has to be, and this is tough stuff. I mean, how do you document exactly the kind of loss in roads and bridges and infrastructure? But clearly, I am sympathetic to supporting the people.
Senator Cruz said there was a lot of pork in the Sandy funding. Was that true?
No.
No?
Period.
Look, it is hard. I mean, you put yourself in the place of a governor and you're preparing the documentation as to the damage done. May there be some mistakes, but generally speaking, I think the effort was sincere and honest. We don't want pork. But when you're talking about bridges and roads and homes and people suffering, we've got to stand with those.
So what are the lessons they could learn from what you went through to make sure that the people of Texas get exactly what they need in an efficient manner?
Well, it has to be done efficiently. It has to be done rapidly. A lot of that responsibility is going to rest with the people, the officials in Houston and in the state of Texas. And right now, the immediate task is to make sure that we save lives, that we protect people, that there's emergency shelters. The day after we figure out how we rebuild Houston.
President Trump is heading there today. Is that a good idea?
Well, I don't know. But, you know, clearly, I think.
Well, there's one school of thought. They're still in the middle of it.
I mean, I think generally speaking, the task right now is for the officials to do everything they can to protect the people of Houston.
Is it too soon for a presidential visit?
Too soon for the president to be there? Probably it is, but let's not get into that. The focus right now has got to be on doing everything we can to address the terrible, terrible pain that is taking place in that city.
I want to ask you about this book that you've written here, Political Revolution, a guide to it. A lot of the things we heard you say in the campaign trail and you talk about in here, the need to rebuild infrastructure, your concern about some trade policies, the need to lower the cost of prescription drugs. These are all things that actually President Trump calls for as well. Why do you think that independents like yourself or Democrats are finding it difficult to work with the president? He constantly complains that Democrats are obstructionists on these things.
Because he, during the campaign, said one set of things, and the policies that he's implementing right now are very different. During the course of the campaign, he said, I'm going to stand with the working people. I'm going to take on the pharmaceutical industry and lower the outrageously high cost of prescription drugs. That's what he said. It's not what he's doing. He said, I'm going to drain the swamp. I'm going to get rid of the powerful special interest. Well, he has brought more billionaires into his administration than any president in the history of this country. He says, I'm going to guarantee health care to everybody. Well, he supported legislation that would throw 32 million people off of health insurance. But having said that, and by the way, getting back to Houston, I think we want to take a look at infrastructure. We want to take a look at climate change and what that may mean to the future of this country. But bottom line is, as a nation, we have got to stand together. We cannot allow the divisions that are taking place every single day, led by the president. Whether you're black or white or Latino, we are one nation. Let's work together.
Well, we're seeing that play out in Houston because when you're getting rescued, you don't care what color the person is.
Absolutely.
I love the tone of the book. It's geared toward young adults, not children, as the senator's people pointed out in the green room. I said, this is great for kids. They go, nope, young adults. But you say the young adults, this generation is the smartest, least prejudiced, and most idealistic.
And Gail, that is exactly what I believe. That's what I've seen all over this country. Look, what this book is about is saying that we have a real crisis in American democracy. And what does that mean? It means that we have the lowest voter turnout of almost any major country on earth. It means that we're seeing, as a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, billionaires able to buy elections, spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars supporting candidates who represent the wealthy and the powerful. What's the antidote to that? The antidote is to bring people into the political process. Run for school board, run for city council, run for state legislature.
But why are you optimistic about this generation? And what age group are you talking about?
Well, from, 16 on up. I have seen these people.
Yes.
And it is...
They voted for you, the 18 and older group.
Well, many of them did. Mm-hmm. But this is a generation that is beyond, in many respects, racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia. I have seen these young people stand together, talk about climate change, the need to transform our energy system, to take on the oligarchy that controls our country. It is a beautiful generation of young people. And what we want to do is see them get involved in the political process. And this book provides the tools to do that.
Real quick before we let you go, that sounds suspiciously like everything you said on the campaign trail. You running again?
Well, it's a little bit early to talk about that. Let's focus on the issues impacting the American people.
We'll take that as a yes.
It's
That's
never
how we're
too
going to
early.
take that.
We'll stay in touch. Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you.